So for this section, we'll just look to go through a little bit more about the sort of finance side, what's offered within the platform, and how we can sort of take some of the burden, I suppose, away from collecting money in a variety of different forms. Firstly, or the first button to really draw your attention to is that payment accounts button there towards the right hand side. Essentially, this is where you can come to set up the core systems from our side when you're looking to make those payments. So from our end, there are two main payment providers that we work with to facilitate payments being made. Those two are Stripe and GoCardless. So if you've got accounts with these companies already, then that's fine. You can come to that payments accounts page. You can go in and connect those accounts up here with us. If not, you can go through and set up those accounts directly through us here to basically initiate that link right from the get-go. As you can see on the screen here, there's a few different bits and pieces. There's some slight differences between the two, both in terms of the cost of using those providers with those sort of percentages you can see towards the bottom of each of them there, but also in the way that they take those payments. So Stripe is a little bit more sort of geared towards your sort of credit/debit card payments. GoCardless is a little bit more sort of on the direct debit style of things, providing sort of mandates from a member's point of view rather than those cards. But essentially, from your side as a club, it's completely up to you as to which of these you use. Some clubs use one or the other. Some use a combination of both. It really just is sort of down to personal preference. So from our side, we do have a variety of different products. We've got the more sort of traditional stuff in your memberships and your match fees. We also offer tickets that you can attach to both training and social events in the calendar as well. And then we've got some slightly different options as well, things like club donations, things like fines, and also merchandise options that you can make available for members to purchase in the app here as well. So all of those products can essentially be created and built out via the sort of club products page here. We can look at all of the ones that we've created so far, create brand new ones, enter all the different amounts. You've got options to add different concessions to every single product basically that you make. And when it comes to our memberships as well, you do have the opportunity to create either products, if I scroll down a little bit, that are full price, or over a series of installments as well. So there is real flexibility there to make it maybe a slightly more monthly based product rather than just a one-off payment right from the beginning of the season. When it comes to your memberships as well, you can do a few different things in terms of linking that product to a specific part of your club. So like I've got on this sort of screen that you can see here, if it's a junior membership, I can just link it to the junior teams and groups. The same goes for your seniors, or if you've got to consider men's and women's sections potentially as well. So yeah, lots of different bits and pieces like that. So you really are ensuring that the right products are being made available to the right people. And we've also got an additional layer as well for things like making a product treasurer only, which essentially just means you need to have full admin access to view and deal with that particular product. So there's all sorts of sort of intricacies and bits and pieces that are then offered beyond just creating your products within here. But once you've then gone through that process, those products can then be linked in a variety of different places. So as I mentioned, with our training and our social tickets, those can be linked up to the relevant events in the calendar. The same goes for your match fees as well. They can be linked to your matches, either when you're importing them or creating them directly in the calendar as well. And that will then interact so that members can be sent that match fee. They can purchase that ticket. So it's all sort of integrated and sort of merged into one place for them. Now, in terms of the actual sort of making of these payments, if I come to my profile icon here, everybody who is a member in your club will have this sort of payments button that you can see here, and that will then draw in essentially your sort of outstanding payments. So whilst we are looking at this in the desktop, the view is exactly the same for your members in the app as well. And as you can see, I've got a couple of outstanding match fees. I've got my club memberships. We've even got some of my merchandise or my merchandise product that I've created here. So you can do a lot of different things within this window beyond just the more sort of standard outstanding payments. We've got that history tab as well, so you can look through all of the payments as an individual member that you've made across the course of your time at the club. And we've then got the sort of card details option here in the top right hand corner. So this is where you can then come to provide the information that either Stripe with the cards, as I mentioned earlier, or GoCardless with the mandates require for the authorization to be made. The key points to make about this, I suppose, is firstly that the users don't need to create a separate account with Stripe or GoCardless, so they're not sort of logging into Timo and then logging in elsewhere to make these payments. It is all in one place. Secondly, this information is stored directly with the payment providers, obviously with their sort of heightened financial compliance and regulations they need to adhere to. It's a nice secure place for that information to be, whilst it's also manageable in terms of adding new cards, removing the details, all of that sort of stuff within the app from our side too. The last bit that I suppose worth showing you within here is this club membership section. So an option that you have when you're creating your different products is, as I mentioned earlier, linking them up to the relevant teams and groups. And it's this sort of view that they would then have when it comes to selecting what they want and which options you might be making available to them. Obviously, on a club by club basis, you'll all have different products and different ways of doing things. But if you did want to sort of do what I've done here, have a full price, have an installment cost so that the members can choose, we've got this sort of setup here so that people can do exactly that. They can choose on exactly which product that they want, and then they can hit on buy on whichever of these products, and that will then either pay that one-off payment or will set up the installment costs that they can then go through the process of paying. If I come back to the profile icon once again, the first tool that we have is our team payments option, which will be available to anybody who has managerial or captain access within the platform. And it's within here that you can then come through all of the different payment types that I've mentioned so far and start looking through and reporting on exactly who has paid, who hasn't paid, and obviously going through the process of communicating with them too. I won't go into sort of too much detail on these. The best example really is from the match fee side. So you can select into one of your teams that you have access to, and this will then list off all of the events with a fee associated. You can look through the relevant numbers and even sort of delve into that event, who has paid, who hasn't paid, and you can start going through that sort of general process of collecting what is outstanding. We've even got some additional options here if you have a few members or a handful of members that are paying outside of the platform, if they're still dealing in cash or external bank transfers. So lots of different things that you can then do to make sure that you're collecting the money in the ways that your members are paying in. This comes onto our memberships tab here. We can look through all of our members and essentially where they are up to with their memberships. So, have they paid? Are they in the process of paying? Have they paid a couple of installments and maybe fallen behind on some of those installments for whatever reason? So all of that information can be visible within here. You can select on individuals, manage their payments. And we can also do a few different things here to filter the view that we've got on this page too. So whether that's by your club section, by the products, the stage that they're up to payment wise, there's loads of ways that you can really sort of delve into this information to generate a list and a report of what you want to see. And that can all be with the sense of, you then send people notifications from that list. You might want to export that list out into CSV away from the platform. You might even want to directly assign a membership product to people, which you can also do as well. So rather than giving them the choice, you might just have one membership product that everyone needs to pay, and you can just go through the process of selecting on all of them with this button here, finding the product, sending it straight out to them, and they can then be notified. So there's lots of different ways that you can sort of utilize this and sort of play around with this, really depending on obviously the outcomes that you want to achieve. This match fees and tickets sort of serves, if you like, as a similar sort of page to what we're looking at in the team payments, but this one is again much more geared towards the whole club view. We can see all of the matches or events because we can select on this drop down to look at our tickets and our social events as well. And you're basically getting the same sort of information, but as I say, we can look at the whole club or break it down into teams. We can chase everybody that's unpaid. We can also access that team payments page we were just on a moment ago from within here as well. And then this other tab that we've got is in our reports tab. So similarly, we can sort of knock this date back and look through all of the invoices in a slightly more itemized view. We can see how they've paid, what they've paid for, the members it's associated with, and also a breakdown of the transaction fees as well. So you can see exactly how much is going out in each part, the total amount of the invoice, the net amount that you're going to be receiving as the club from the other end. And again, we can also export this view out as well. So lots of things that you can do to make sure that A, you're offering different products to your members, B, you're able to make sure that you have a mechanism to chase those payments up, and then C, you're able to look through all of the information that you need here. You can export that out and have a fairly in-depth view as exactly what is coming through from your members across the course of the season.